Good evening, everyone. Thanks for hosting us this evening. Really appreciate it. This is probably the best turnout we've had at our camp, except for maybe Bob Owen's College. But thank you for coming out tonight. I'm Mark Wassung. I'm a registered architect, and I've got 30 years of experience working in New Zealand and South Africa. I've lived in a city of 6 million people. It's Durban, South Africa. It's the biggest port on the east coast in South Africa. So pretty much similar to this, obviously different numbers, but yeah, I've seen what a big city, how it grows and how it goes through this this constant involvement and stresses and pressures. So I've seen some of the patterns of that, and I've lived in Auckland as well, and also in Hamilton. Hamilton's a very similar sized city to this, so it's also going through similar sort of growth pains. I'm a firm believer in planning for infrastructure. Now I see John Robson in the audience, and the other night he talked about if you have a plan and you don't have any funding, then it's a proper fantasy, I think. So I don't agree with that. I think that you can do staged developments. There's plenty of plans that are 10, 50, 100 years. So I really believe we need to have good planning in this city. So one of the things I'm advocating for is a regional plan that covers the whole region. And one of my ideas for the city, for better communication to the community and the Bay of Plenty Regional Council, is to have a digital model where all of the projects across the region can actually be communicated to people as a visual format that's 3 dimensions. And then you can also contribute to that model as well with your ideas and your suggestions, because a lot of good ideas come from the community. So with that model, I think we can then look at a multimodal transport network, which doesn't just involve buses. So I've got ideas for using our rail lines with maybe a stage 1 trial. We wouldn't have to put the infrastructure in, other than maybe breathe new life into the old stations. Have a park and ride from Papamoa to the city, and also to out towards Opera Station to connect to Mokoroa. And then a stage 2, which could look at passenger rail back to Hamilton, which was there before. So I think passenger rail, we should be looking at rail. I'm not suggesting we go away from buses, but we need to look at smaller buses. There's no use having 44-seat buses running around town and nobody in them, except for school children in the morning and in the afternoon. They're very well supported. But adults are not using the buses effectively. They've got black glass, so you can't see who's inside them. But at night time they're very telling because there's nobody in them. So I'm very passionate about the Papamoa Park and Ride. I think it's one of the projects that's been axed, Andrew, am I correct? So I really would like to have a look at a park and ride reinstatement of the transport system. Rangiru Inland Port, and we're a strong supporter of offsetting some of the pressure on the port by, you could take 1,000+ trucks off the road going to the port if you had a modal shift, road to rail, transfer station, a log transfer station. Andrew and I were just talking about methyl bromide earlier. You can get 99%, not 100% recapture through the Genera process from Australia. He told me it is actually happening at the port, but we actually fought for this a number of years ago at the EPA hearings. And as far as I knew, that the recapture wasn't actually happening yet. But thank you for that, Andrew. The other thing that I would like to see happen across our city is a firm commitment to agriculture. I think our estuaries are largely barren. There's so much sediment in them. There's a lot of waste that constantly gets blown into it, dust and sediment, as I said. So I'd like to see a real positive drive we'll link up with the university, the new marine research facility. I know it's gone through a long, arduous process historically, but we're going to have a world-class facility here with the university, so our kids can study there. So why don't we get stuck into it and have a look at agriculture, mussels, oysters, salmon, flounder, and we can do that in our harbours. And I'm a strong believer in connecting with iwi and hapuru. There's a lot of resistance which has held up the port's extension of the Stellar Passage. And you could quite easily, I think, if you're looking at agriculture, offsetting the environmental effect of what's happening with the Stellar Passage. We're actually turning ships away and containers, so we need to look at really getting that right and all working together. So one of my big things is cross-organisational collaboration, and I think that TCC, PRC, central government, iwi and hapuru, and other stakeholders. We should all work more closely together. So just in conclusion, I've had a number of governance roles over the last 10 years, from the Hamilton River Plan to the Urban Design Panel in Hamilton, and to my latest role that has been in the Mangatapu Primary School, which is real grassroots level. I've also been in the Tauranga Art Gallery Trust for 6 years, and I was in the chair in the last year. So I just think that some of those grassroots the governance roles have prepared me for this position, where I want to get stuck in and make some decisions and get things done. So my most recent role, I've got 14 projects done at the Mangatapu Primary School, from solar panels to crossings to a bike track and 5 new classrooms. So I really would like to get stuck in and contribute to this city and region. Was that it? Am I over? 5 seconds. I've hit the bell. So I'll ask for your vote, please. My name is Mark Wassung, Registered Architect. This is the second time I'm standing for council, and I was 200 votes out last time, so I need those 300 votes to get in. So please vote for me, Mark Wassung. Now, regarding the question, I'd like to tackle it too. Are ratepayers getting value for money pertaining to the ghost buses that roam aimlessly around the city, given we pay a transport levy imposed by the regional council and another by TCC? Well, I have covered this a little bit, but I think that we still need buses, and we need to get our amenity right around the buses. So one of the disconnects that I found about 3 or 4 years back, Andrew, you'll remember this, is that BOPRC changed their bus routes, and TCC then had to hurriedly catch up with, I think it was 300 bus shelters to now fit those new lines or new routes. And when I was presenting at council, I couldn't believe that this sort of disconnect happens between the two organisations. So I went and proposed prefabricated bus shelters. They were 3D printed, which you could get for 1/3 of the price by 3D printing, and also prefabricated aluminium or steel. And I had my engineer have a look at it. I gifted my time to the city, and I remember Anne Tolley saying, "This is a great idea. These are Mark's funky bus shelters. We should get these going in the city." So the basic concept was to have heaters, light, and live displays for bus shelters. And you see what's around the city is these very third world structures. So I think we should get our amenity right, and then people will use the bus shelters, and then they'll use the buses. Not the empty ones. As I said, I think we should have 23-seat EVs, shuttles that are fast, frequent, reliable, and accessible. Big wide doors, so prams, and accessibility access. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Our next speaker is Murray Guy.